The White Lady of Union Cemetery, Ed and Lorraine Warren. A woman in white steps into headlights on a Connecticut road, then vanishes. Ed Warren captured her on film among the gravestones. Beneath the shadow of Easton Baptist Church, along a stretch of Sport Hill Road in Easton, Connecticut, lies ground that has held the departed since the early 1700s. Union Cemetery spreads across acres of rolling earth, its weathered headstones bearing names carved centuries ago, monuments to families whose descendants have long since scattered or themselves returned to the soil. The stones lean at angles, some cracked by frost and time, others intact but worn smooth by 300 New England winters. During daylight hours, the cemetery maintains the quiet dignity common to such places. But when darkness settles over Sport Hill Road, Union Cemetery transforms into something else entirely. For generations, witnesses have reported phenomena among those graves that defy conventional explanation. Two figures in particular have emerged from the accumulated testimony of frightened drivers, local residents, and investigators who have walked those grounds after sunset. A woman dressed in white who appears near the roadway, and a man engulfed in flames who manifests along the fence line before vanishing without trace. Ed and Lorraine Warren lived in Monroe, Connecticut, just minutes from Union Cemetery. Over the course of their decades-long investigation into paranormal phenomena across New England, they returned to this location repeatedly. The cemetery became a focal point of their research into what they classified as residual hauntings and trapped spirits, distinct from the demonic cases that dominated much of their work. In 1992, they published their findings in a book titled Graveyard: True Hauntings from an Old New England Cemetery, dedicating significant attention to the phenomena documented at Union Cemetery. The location represented something both more common and more melancholy than demonic possession: human spirits who appeared unable or unwilling to depart the place where their mortal remains had been interred. The White Lady stands as one of the most frequently witnessed apparitions in Connecticut paranormal history. Drivers traveling Sport Hill Road after dark have reported the same encounter across decades. A figure steps from the cemetery grounds into the road. She wears a white gown, often described as a burial shroud or nightdress. Her appearance is sudden, giving drivers no time to brake. Some witnesses report feeling the impact of collision, the terrible certainty that they have struck a pedestrian. They stop their vehicles, hearts racing, and emerge to find nothing. No body lies in the road. No damage marks their vehicle. No footprints disturb the dirt shoulder. The woman has vanished as completely as if she never existed. Other witnesses encounter the White Lady within the cemetery itself. She appears among the headstones, moving with deliberate slowness between the graves. Her face, when visible, carries an expression witnesses consistently describe as sorrowful. She appears to be searching or waiting, her movements purposeful rather than aimless. She does not acknowledge observers. She continues her slow walk until she fades from view, sometimes mid-step, sometimes while standing perfectly still. The disappearance holds no dramatic flourish. She is simply there, and then she is not. Local historians have attempted to identify the White Lady, searching burial records and historical accounts for a woman whose story might explain her continued presence. One theory suggests she was the victim of violence, attacked near the cemetery and subsequently buried within its boundaries, her spirit unable to rest due to the trauma of her passing. Another theory proposes she was a mother who lost children, perhaps to disease or accident, and who searches endlessly for them among the graves. A third possibility, less romantic but equally plausible, suggests she represents not a single individual but a composite, a manifestation formed from the collective grief and loss accumulated over centuries in this place where so many have been laid to rest. The Burning Man presents a different and more disturbing phenomenon. Witnesses describe seeing a male figure near the cemetery fence line, visible from Sport Hill Road. The figure appears to be engulfed in flames, fire consuming his form. The light is bright enough to draw attention from passing vehicles, Witnesses who have stopped to investigate or render aid report that the figure vanishes before they can reach him. No heat emanates from the location. No smoke rises. No scorched ground marks where the burning figure stood. The manifestation appears complete and then disappears entirely, leaving nothing behind. The burning man appears less frequently than the white lady, and witnesses report a different quality to the encounter. Where the white lady seems sad and searching, the burning man carries an energy described as agitated, angry, unresolved. Some witnesses report feeling frightened by his appearance in ways that go beyond the visual shock of seeing a human form apparently consumed by fire. The presence itself feels hostile, though no witness has reported being directly threatened or harmed. Ed Warren brought cameras to Union Cemetery during nighttime investigations in the early 1990s. He positioned equipment to capture the areas where manifestations had been most frequently reported. During one investigation, his camera recorded footage that would become central to his documentation of the location. A luminous female form appears among the headstones, clearly visible against the darkness. The figure moves between grave with the same deliberate gait witnesses had described for decades. The form is visible long enough to be captured on video before it vanishes. Ed Warren maintained until his passing in 2006 that the footage was genuine, unmanipulated documentation of the White Lady. The video has been analyzed repeatedly by investigators and skeptics, with debate continuing about what exactly the footage captures. Lorraine Warren walked the cemetery grounds during multiple investigations, using her claimed clairvoyant abilities to assess the spiritual activity present. She described sensing layers of energy accumulated over the centuries, residual impressions left by grief, by burial rituals, by the simple fact of so many human remains resting in close proximity. But beneath those layers, she identified two distinct active presences. The White Lady, Lorraine stated, was a trapped spirit, bound to the location by circumstances related to her death or burial. The energy was sorrowful but not malevolent. The presence sought something, though Lorraine could not determine what. The burning man presented a more complicated assessment. Lorraine sensed agitation and unresolved trauma associated with that portion of the cemetery. She could not classify the presence as simply residual, an energetic impression playing repeatedly like a recording. Something conscious remained, something angry, though whether that anger was directed outward or represented the figure's own torment, she could not determine with certainty. Union Cemetery's danger to investigators and visitors differs significantly from the demonic cases that formed the core of the Warren investigation files. The White Lady has never been reported to cause direct harm. Her road manifestations are dangerous by circumstance rather than intent. A driver startled by her sudden appearance might swerve, might collide with another vehicle, might lose control. But the apparition itself appears to carry no hostile intent. She simply appears, walks, and vanishes, seemingly unaware of or unconcerned with the effect her presence has on the living. The burning man carries a different energy. Investigators who have spent extended periods in the section of cemetery where he manifests report feelings of oppression, of being watched, of anger that seems to press against them. Some have reported disorientation while attempting to leave the grounds, as if the paths they entered by have shifted. Others describe feeling followed after leaving Union Cemetery, a sense of presence that accompanies them for hours or days before gradually fading. A former caretaker of the cemetery, whose name appears in local accounts, but who declined to be formally interviewed for the Warren book, reportedly encountered both apparitions during his tenure maintaining the grounds. He witnessed the White Lady on multiple occasions and once saw the burning man near the fence line while closing the gates at dusk. According to local accounts, the caretaker eventually refused to tend the cemetery after dark, requesting that his duties be limited to daylight hours. When pressed by his employers, he reportedly stated simply that the dead at Union Cemetery were not all resting peacefully, and he had no desire to be present when they walked. The Warrens did not attempt exorcism or formal spiritual intervention at Union Cemetery. Their assessment classified the phenomena as residual and trapped rather than demonic. An exorcism addresses demonic entities, forces that were never human and that attach themselves to locations or individuals with hostile intent. The White Lady and the Burning Man, whatever their nature, appeared to be human spirits unable or unwilling to depart. Ed and Lorraine documented what they found, captured what evidence they could, and published their findings, but they did not believe the situation called for the aggressive spiritual warfare they employed in cases of suspected demonic infestation. Union Cemetery remains an active burial ground. Services are still conducted there. New graves are still dug among the old headstones. The cemetery also functions as a destination for paranormal investigators, drawn by the Warren documentation and by the continuing reports of manifestations. Local authorities have periodically addressed trespassing issues as the cemetery's reputation has spread beyond Connecticut. Investigators arrive from across the region and from other states, hoping to capture their own footage of the White Lady or to witness the Burning Man. The publication of Graveyard in 1992 brought Union Cemetery to a wider audience. The book detailed Ed Warren's video footage, Lorraine's psychic assessments, and the accumulated witness testimony from decades of reported encounters. The cemetery has since appeared in numerous paranormal television programs, each adding to its reputation. Yet the fundamental mystery remains unchanged. Who was the woman in white? Why does she walk the grounds and appear in the road? Who was the Burning Man? What trauma or injustice binds him to that fence line, appearing in flames that give no heat and leave no mark? Union Cemetery represents a quieter dimension of the Warren legacy. The case lacks the dramatic confrontations with demonic forces that characterized investigations like Annabelle or the Perron family haunting. No priests were summoned. No holy water was sprinkled. No Latin exorcism rites were performed. Instead, the Warrens documented souls who appear unable to leave the place where their bodies were laid to rest. The White Lady continues her slow walk among the headstones, still searching for something lost or stolen by death. The Burning Man still appears near the fence, still consumed by flames that never spread, never diminish, never release him. Sport Hill Road still runs past Union Cemetery. The Eastern Baptist Church still stands watch over the grounds. The headstones still lean at their angles, carved names still marking lives that ended centuries ago. And on dark nights, when the living have gone home, the White Lady still walks, and the Burning Man still burns, testaments to the possibility that some departures from this world remain incomplete, and some souls linger in the places where their mortal stories ended, unable or unwilling to move into whatever lies beyond. If you found this case compelling, subscribe to Vanishing Roads for more documented paranormal investigations from around the world. This story was created with AI assistance based on documented case files. All events reference real investigations and reported incidents.